Hello and welcome to Notary Life with Kimmi. I am here along with Alexis and Angela. I will let them introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, it's Alexis from Open Notary Services by Alexis. I hope you all had a great weekend and ready for this week ahead of us.
Hi, this is Angela from AJ Mobile Notary and Apostille Services, and we are so glad you guys are here tonight.
Yes, and we here at Notary Life with Kimmi and Notary Educators are here to help newer notaries, experienced notaries who would like to grow their business, and those who need to know what to do to grow your business, to get it off the ground. Let's get this party started. Let's get some of this money out here. Do not be discouraged by everything that you hear because it's just not true. Okay. Everything, don't believe the hype, right? That's what they say in this case. So, YouTube is probably alerting people that we are live, but we do want to say hello to those that are here on Facebook, those in the audience. Angela, hey Frank, Pamela J, what's going on, Marcel? How you guys been doing out there?
Yeah. Hey, Angela from Maryland.
Hello everyone.
And those who will join us on the replay. So tonight we are talking about, hey Latoya, what's going on? I didn't ask, did you guys have a story this week? Any story?
Did I have a story?
Any story? Story. No story?
What did I do this week?
If I think of something, think of something, I'll let
I
Okay.
did
Only
have
thing I
one.
had was yesterday Angela sent me a person they didn't want to pay. So
you.
I do
it
have.
was late on a Sunday night. I was like, whatever.
I have a story.
Yes.
One of my apostilles. When was that? A couple of days ago, Kim. When I told you, the lady called me. We met. I got her documents, and usually when I get apostille documents, I take care of them right away. I don't wait till the next day. If I don't have any appointments, whatever I do, I get the information. I'll fill out the forms, hop in my car, and go down to the state. So she called me, and so when she came, nice lady, we talked, discussed. I told her everything was happening. She paid, and so when she went home, about 30 minutes, 45 minutes later, her daughter was mad at her because she said, "Why did you pay that much? That's too much." And so the daughter called me actually and said, "Can she cancel it?" I said, "It's too late to cancel. It's already been processed, through the state." And she said, "So it's completed already?" I said, "Yes, it's completed." And then she was like, "Oh, okay, thank you." So my question is, what would you guys do if you had an apostille job or a big job, fingerprinting, whatever, and after you've processed it, the person said they wanted to cancel because they thought they paid too much? So one of the questions that was uh, asked of me was, would I give them a discount or refund? And I said no, because we discussed how much the payment would be before you got here. This has nothing to do with notary. It wasn't a notary. It was a marriage license. We've already discussed the payment. You agreed to the payment and you paid me. So no, I'm not giving a discount or a refund. I provided the service. So if you would give them a refund, put a one in the chat. If not, put a two. I didn't give a refund. I was very nice to her. I delivered her documents as promised. And in the end, the result was when I took them to her, she was very grateful. She was thankful. She didn't mention it anymore. She thanked me for providing the service, and she was happy with the service.
Yeah, I've not come across that one before.
Yeah.
Where they want a refund after the fact. I mean, because if I've already did your fingerprint cards and you decide, well, I don't need them anymore. I still drove to you. I
Mhm.
still gave you my two cards. We used
Mhm.
my ink, my time, my gas. So yeah, I don't think so. I did have along the similar line with the apostille last week. I had a client, she wanted to pay after I did the delivery, after I did everything. And I was like, that's not gonna work, but I will allow them to pay half. I know Angela, that's a no-go for you, but as long as my initial FedEx fees are covered and I feel like I made something out of it, because in her case, I didn't even have to drive downtown because it was another state. But I don't I'm not gonna do any of the work and I haven't been paid for it. That's a definite no-go.
If
Mm-mm.
they want to pay some of it, I usually let them a fourth of it. They don't pay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get through.
she paid half. I wanted at least what I wanted to make out of it. I made her pay that, and I also made her pay again what my FedEx cost was, because I'm definitely not gonna like loan her money and
Mm-hmm.
with the hopes that she gonna pay me back. So for example, right now I'm waiting on it to come back from Texas. If and when it comes back and she says, you know what, oh, I don't need it, I'm not gonna say, oh, you need to give me the rest of my money. I'm not gonna do that. I just won't. I'm not gonna give her anything. I'm not gonna give her the document. I'm not gonna give her anything.
Right.
Because at that point the document belongs to me.
Right.
But if she wants her document,
He has to
that's
pay the
not
rest.
possible. She's gonna have to pay the rest. You see what I
Right.
mean? So I feel like I've
Mhm.
made more than enough to cover whatever. Now when I
Mhm.
get the rest of it, you know.
So yeah, I just explained to the daughter that we discussed what she needed. I told her what my price. I told her what my company's price was to process the apostille, and I said she agreed to it and she paid that price. And as a matter of fact, when she called me, I had went inside, had an apostille, and was just getting back in my car.
Mm,
And so I said, so we both agreed to the price. She paid me. I've had it processed already, and the job is completed.
right. What's your thoughts, Alexis?
So based off what both of y'all said, Angela's story, no, once I, complete the job, especially if you went down there physically, no. That's a
Mhm.
lot of time on my day. So no.
Mhm.
Um, and then two, my thing is I feel like you should do your research. That's anything. I've done that plenty of times where after the fact I'm like, man, I could have either got this cheaper somewhere, whether it was something, physical or a
Mhm.
service or something like that
Mm-hmm.
after the fact. But guess what? I should have done my research beforehand. I'm not gonna ask that person um, to give me a discount because I didn't do my due diligence. That doesn't make sense.
Mhm.
So
Right.
no,
Mhm.
I would not. And then what Kimmy said, I actually had a situation like that this week. I stopped having them pay half, and I totally is upfront whole amount.
Yep.
A gentleman had me ship a document off to another state, and um, the document came back. It took a while, but we knew it was gonna take a while based off of the website of the state. Um, so when it came back, now the document just sitting here. I called him, told him his document was in. He knows it's in. It's been a couple days. I said I was gonna call him tomorrow, but his document is just sitting here. So what if, like Kimmy said, what if you don't want it anymore? I went through all this trouble researching the state, doing this, doing that. Like I take time on my day
Yeah.
calling people because it took a week longer than what they said it was gonna take. So I had to get on the phone with them. That's a whole process in itself, a couple times. So it's just my time is in the mix at this point.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I stopped doing it half. I want everything up
I
front.
want
And if
everything up
you
front.
can't do that, then that's okay. I mean, if it's a certain number of documents, it's a large amount, that's when I'll give a little leeway. Because if you say no, I don't want documents, I still made a good amount of money
I
back.
don't even. I had a man had 4 documents, wanted me to ship them to Spain. He paid me the whole amount, full amount.
Yeah, and some people have it, so
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
trust factor
But
too.
he asked me what my requirement was, and I said prepay.
Yeah, and that's fine. And some people, for them, it's a trust factor because it's such a large ticket item.
Mhm.
They want to make sure that you are going to deliver. But
mm-hmm.
by the time they go and tell a friend, well, girl, it was 150 or 200 or $300, they're like, you paid for what? So then they want to double back. But like you said, it's too late then. Well,
Yeah,
I think everybody, you got to make a business decision. As always, we're gonna always lean back on that or push back. Whatever's best for your business practice. If they're like having a conniption, and they want to, start making a big fuss or whatever. You got to weigh everything. Everything is not always black or white.
That's true.
So let's talk about tonight's topic. I actually had put 5 notary signing agent mistakes that we have made, but we actually came up with almost 10 or 11 between us. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to Notary Life with Kimmi. I'm here with Alexis and Angela, part of Notary Educators. We together form that training center and help you with all your training needs. But we're going to talk tonight about our, I said 5, but again, it's 10 notary signing agent mistakes that we have made. Okay. So let's get right into it. So the first one is, and guys, again, like we did last week with just our regular notary errors, confession is good for the soul. So let us know if you've done any of these. Have you made any of these mistakes also? Okay. So the first one is, have you ever gone to either FedEx or UPS and you should have been at the other store dropping off your docs as a notary signing agent? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Have you ever gone to the wrong location? So I actually have done that before. And when you get in there, they usually make a little joke and say something like, you're supposed to be at the competition. So I always try to really double check, where am I supposed to be going? Because that can make the difference in you getting the documents returned on time. You burned up additional gas and resources that you didn't have to because you went to the wrong place. Have you ladies ever did that one?
I've never done that one.
I never did.
But what I have done is, when I emailed the signing company and let them know that I had completed the job and dropped it off at UPS, instead of UPS, I said I'm signing complete and dropped at FedEx. And so she texted me back and said, "Oh, will you please give me the FedEx number and try to use our label that we send you?" And I just said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I did drop it up at UPS. I just got it mixed up because I'm at both places, but I did drop yours at UPS."
Somebody was really their heart started palpitating that night, huh?
Right.
Thinking you put it in the wrong place. Okay. You said you never did it, Alexis?
No, I've never done it, but I have. When you know how you get in the car and you gotta put in your GPS. I have done that, put it in wrong, but I caught myself.
Okay, so I've actually did it and stood there in front of the person with the wrong envelope and everything. Okay, so somebody else in Facebook has done that also. Who did that in Facebook, Alexis?
Let's see. Pamela Bargman.
Pamela, yes, me and you together, girl. We made that mistake.
Isn't one making the mistake?
Yes, one is making the mistake. So yes, Pamela, you're in good company.
Pamela put a 2.
Oh, Pamela put a 2?
No. That was for the previous thing. I think the thing that Angela did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
I can't see Facebook. I'm sorry.
Oh,
and then
sorry,
she said, "Yes, I did that for this week, but I had one for both locations."
Oh, okay, yeah. So I do have envelopes. To Pamela's point, I have envelopes and everything in my car for actually FedEx and UPS, but I had prepared the whole thing incorrectly. Sometimes you have 3 or 4 signings. It get to getting crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this dot got to go here, this got to go there. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it can happen.
But look what Jelata says. She said she dropped the package off in the drop box at FedEx, and it was supposed to go to UPS. So she learned not to drop packages in a drop box. I never do drop box.
Ever. That's what we teach signing over here, 101. We never, ever
girl,
put it in a drop box. And they will try to force you to.
I would have been standing by that drop box waiting to that FedEx man or whoever you dropped it. I would have been waiting for them to come pick that thing up.
Yes, guys. Tip number 2. Make sure you go to the right location. Yeah. Number 1. And tip number 2, we're going to learn from Jelata. We never put it in the drop box. Ever.
The counter every time.
And they will make you. They will try to say, "Oh, I'm busy. Can you just put it over there and I'll give you a sticker?" Or can you do? I've had people get a serious attitude with me at the shipping locations because I'm like, and my standard remark to them is, my client is paying me very well to hand it to you, and I'm gonna wait.
And if I don't have an envelope in UPS, I usually don't. I will stand there because they'll say, "Okay, thank you, give me the receipt." I'm like, I have to watch you put it in there and seal it up.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, never that.
Yeah, I have to watch. I tell them that I have to watch you sit. My client requires that I sit here, watch you, and seal it up because anything could go in the wrong package.
Gem number 3: we are not just handing our documents to FedEx or UPS without it being properly sealed.
That's right.
What? Okay. So, what mistake do you have for us, Alexis?
So the next one is ink color. So I never made the mistake of putting it on the paper, but I didn't mention it. And when we went to test it out, that's my little tip. Test out the ink color, have like a little sticky note. The document said blue. In my head, this is when I was first starting out. I'm thinking black ink would be the standard. That just makes sense to me. Wow. This is what first starting out. Why would you want blue ink? I had blue ink pens, of course. But something told me to look at the closing instructions as I was at the table. Like I said, first time, you want to double check everything. And I looked again, and the guy literally was testing it out. He grabbed the documents. I looked over, and I highlighted it too. I highlighted it, and I was like, "Oh, no." And we switched out pens. So that was my mistake, the ink color. You have to remember, because if you sign all those documents in the wrong ink color, guess what? You're gonna be re-signing a whole other stack.
Yeah.
So I did actually do that. I talked about it in one of my earlier videos. I actually did that. I did the whole package, the whole thing, 125 pages, refinance in black ink because my client had a blue pen. For those of you who are looking, it had a blue casing, but the ink was black. So at the end, the very last page, Jeffrey looked over at me. He said, "What this look like? What you doing?" And I was looking at him like, "What you doing?" And he was like, "The
Ain't
ink
the ink pen supposed to be?
What color ink is it supposed to be, Kim?" I said, "Oh my God." We had to do the whole thing over. Well, fortunately, I prepared my doc, so I knew where he was supposed to sign every single page, all 125. So we redid it in blue ink. He was super cool. He gave me a good review, and everything was well. But point being, like Alexa said, 2 tips from her, what she said earlier, we're going to test it out because sometimes the signer want to use their own ink pen. We are doing a sample scratch mark on something because they may think it's blue or black. The casing, we say look one color, but the inside is something different. So note to self, we're going to do a scratch out. One. Number 2, Alexa said something else. We are reading our instructions, if we can, prior to going to the appointment. And like she said, she had already highlighted it and everything. So always take time to read your instructions because some require black, some require blue. Like Frank is saying, many federal docs require black ink. Well, you have to read your instructions because the industry standard is blue, unless you have like a loan modification and the instructions say black. Because I have so many sellers packages and they always say, "Oh, I need blue ink." I'm thinking to myself, chill out.
Wow, I got this.
I got 100 blue ink pens, okay? And then they my little thing, they like, "Oh, you've done this before." Yeah. Okay.
And the other thing about me is after reading the instructions, when I get to this borrower's home and they have ink pens on the table, I asked what color is the ink pen. If it's not the right color, I said, we have to sign these documents in black. I said, therefore, no blue ink pens are allowed on the table. I said, because they can easily be picked up. I had it happen. The girl I said, what color is that pen? And she says blue. I said, no. So now if they have ink pens on the table, if they're a different color, I make them take every blue ink pen off the table and put it somewhere else because they can easily pick it up. That's just what I do.
I totally agree. I'm gonna give y'all one more little bonus tip on this one with Angela talking about having people remove stuff from the table. When I have my package and I have given them their copy, and sometimes they want to kind of look through it and they want to try to flip through theirs as I flip through mine and all this and all that, all this extra. No, can you put your documents right here? You can look at it at your leisure. But right now we're working from one set because they'll be trying to mix it up and no. We want to get in and out as fast as we can with accuracy. You know what I'm saying? And they'll try to stall. To me, sometimes you get a staller. What's your error, Angela?
So I made this error, which is so easy to make to me. I've only done it once. So when you're filling out, loan documents, loan modifications, on the notary acknowledgement form, it will ask you for the person's, how you ID the person, personal knowledge, or proven identity. And of course, I always check proven identity. And so then it'll ask for a driver's license number, and under that it'll say expiration date. Well, I put the driver's license number and I put the expiration date, but it was 2 borrowers. So it always only have one line. And so what you have to do is you have to write next to the first borrower, next to it you have to write the second borrower's driver's license number and expiration date. Well, that time, for whatever reason, I only wrote the first borrower's driver's license number and expiration date. I didn't write the co-borrower. So I left the second one off. And so fortunately, the company just called me and said, I left it off. Do I happen to have it in my notary journal? And being the great notary that I am, and I had all their information in the journal, I just read it from the journal to her and she wrote it in there. And so don't forget, if you have 2 borrowers, even though there's only one line, you have to write both informations on the notary acknowledgement form.
Very good. Very good. And the next one that I made was forgetting to respond to the signing company upon completion of the signing. That is so important because they're waiting on the confirmation sometimes to fund the loan. to give the people their money, to get the document signed on the other end if it's a split signing. It's any number of reasons why they need those documents back ASAP. And they need to know that you're finished, rather. They need to know the signing has been completed. So I did not. And I have had the client reach out and say, hey, did the signing go okay? I'm like, oh my God. And again, if you're doing 4, 5, 6 a day, even general notary, you're running in between, in and out, fingerprint this time, inspection this time, whatever, you get distracted, and again, we're imperfect. We make mistakes. So that is another one, though. You always want to make sure you contact that company ASAP and let them know that the sign, normally they want to be contacted within the hour after.
Yeah.
They usually will give you an hour. Some companies will give you 2, but no later than really I try to do it ASAP. When I finish, I send an email or I go back into however I received it. Signing is complete, because they, like I said, it's a lot of factors that we don't know behind the scenes that they need to know that it's completed. So that's one mistake that I had made initially when I started. And again, that's just from being having a whole lot of work and still being new, you make mistakes. So learn from us. That's the whole point of tonight.
Yeah, I usually do that before I pull out the driveway. I take my phone out, go to the email, and just say signing complete.
Yes. Alexis, you have a tip on that?
No, same thing Angela said. As soon as I'm done, even if I have another client, usually I schedule pretty, okay. But it takes a couple minutes.
Yeah.
As soon as I get done, I'm in the car before I even pull off.
Me too.
Make sure it's done.
And here's another bonus tip for you. I try to schedule my appointments like a couple hours apart. I try to. Sometimes, again, back in the day, I'll be like, bam, bam, bam. But I work better if I have like a 2-hour window. And again, if you're that person, you can knock them out every half hour, go for it. But I don't recommend it because, 1, you don't want to get burned out, but 2, you don't want to have errors, because
I don't like to feel rushed.
Right. I like to get to the appointment. I like to kind of look around the neighborhood. I like to sit in there and listen to a song before
I don't do all that now, but I don't do all that. No, I'm not trying to do all that.
I do. I like to get there and kind of take my time. I kind of look around. I kind of look to see, what's going on. And
I mean, I take my time, make sure everything's organized, make sure I have all my papers, triple check my papers and stuff.
I might finish my song I'm listening to. It's a lot of stuff going to me going. It's a whole situation.
She got a whole situation going on.
Got a whole thing going. Okay, who got our next era? Is it back on Alexis now?
Yes.
Yes. So the next one is the documents cutting off when printing. So what I mean by that is I received the package, again, first starting out, you're excited, you just doing stuff. I print the papers off and it really didn't look like it was cut off. But for some reason, I pulled the document back up because it was a PDF file. And you can tell in the PDF file, it was, strange looking. So I'm like, oh, I have to go get letter paper. Thankfully, it was a day before the signing. So I went out, got letter paper, brought it back, and had to reprint. But what if it was the same day? You know what I mean? Like, you have to make sure that you're printing those documents correctly. If it is on letter, make sure it's on letter. If it needs to be on legal, make sure it's on legal. I meant legal. But make sure it's correct, because important information are on those documents, whether it's a signature line, like Angela was saying earlier, a barcode, some type of number to identify that particular document. You know what I mean?
Initials can be on the bottom.
Yeah, initials, whatever, anything. It needs to be there to be a complete. So just make sure you know what type of paper you need to print.
And along with that goes into what we teach you in the loan signing class, is to make sure before you do anything, you double check after you print that you have double checked to make sure everything is on the bottom of that paper. You may say, well, how will I know? You'll know, because sometimes you are doing like a roller coaster going down.
You'll know.
You'll know if something's missing. And that's another reason why. Actually, Jeffrey has a good tip that he actually looks at the PDF before he prints it to see what documents need to be legal and what needs to be letter. So
I do that too. I use the Notary Rotary.
Well, we actually have a dual tray, but even still, he'll go ahead and look at the PDF file before. Angela, you work with a single tray, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we do have a dual tray, but we still look at it, the PDF prior to printing to make sure
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to have at least so many legal and letter. And again, some of this stuff may seem a little time consuming, like, why I got to do all that? Well, we want you to be pros, and that's
Right.
how you're gonna be pros. We give you pro tips. It might take a little longer sometimes. It may seem old fashioned, or I can do it faster than that. I can get it done in 10 minutes. You do it in 10 minutes, and let's see how many jobs you get.
And see how many mistakes you make.
Right. So, Angela, what's our next mistake?
So I did this once. It's not really a mistake, but it is because when you get this instructions from the company, most of the time they'll tell you to contact the borrower as soon as possible upon receipt of the document to confirm and verify all of that. And in this particular instance, I don't know why. I think if when I remember correctly, it was like I was really busy that week. I had like 2 or 3 signings every day, and the morning of, I realized I had not contacted the borrower to confirm the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to call them like really early. I texted them actually. I had to text them like really early. And they were okay with it, but I was like nervous because I'm like, oh my gosh, what if this person isn't up? What if they forgot? But fortunately she was at home and she did respond back. But it's very important to contact the borrower as soon as possible, because that's really the requirement from the company, is that you contact them to verify, the time and everything. So it worked out for me, but I was like, it gave me some anxiety and nervousness because I had not done it.
And I had one today, along to Angela's point. I actually reached out. The client did not answer. So when I went to put the response in the SnapDocs, the scheduler reached back out and said, hey, can you text the client? So normally that is part of my process. I actually just had a few things going on today. Normally part of my process is to reach out within, again, they give you a window, the signing companies, normally within 2 hours, they want you to contact that client. But I try to do it ASAP. And to Angela's point, you want to try to get them by any means necessary. So you might try the phone, doesn't work. You want to do it immediately. If that doesn't work, you want to text them. If you have an email address on the documents, if you happen to have them. In my case, I didn't have the documents. They still have not been posted yet, but you can even email the client. And just as long as you can make some kind of contact, because they don't want you printing prior to confirming. And that's what my instructions were. I think this will be a good time. We're going to come back to the comments, but a lot of people are asking about Alexis's loan signing class. Where can they find it? And it's at notaryeducatorsllc.com. And several people in the chat have taken Alexis's loan signing class. So we're going to just pause really quick and we'll get back to our errors because we got a few more, y'all. The loan signing class, along with all the other classes we offer, is at notaryeducatorsllc.com. She does have a in-person, live training coming up. And then there is the course that people are referring to, which is half off right now, 50% off the self-paced courses. And the coupon code is Notary, Notary, Notary. And that's on all the self-paced classes that we offer, okay? So let's get back to our error. So is it back on me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So my next one I made, guys, I put the incorrect county. Okay. The incorrect county. Why is that so important on loan signing documents? If the property is located in Smith County, I accidentally wrote Jones County. If they go back for quality, they're trying to figure out why was a signing completed over here in Jones when Kim was assigned and the signer said they were going to be in Smith. So we're not saying that the county cannot change or that the signing location cannot change, but you have to put the right one, the right county, because they're doing quality on the back end sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. And that can affect different things. Where's the document being recorded? Mm-hmm. Which county, Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of things that go into that. Again, we may not know all the details, but our documents need to be correct. So funny story about that is, and a lot of times this happens, you'll ask a client, hey, what county are we in? I don't know. That's what they'll say. I don't know. Your guess is good as mine. So what I tend to do now as a pro move, guys, is I look up the county before I even go. And then I just confirm with the client when I'm there. Mm-hmm. Like if anywhere you are now in any of the states almost, if you cross the street, you're in a different county, it could happen. So near me, I got DeKalb, I got Gwinnett, and if I go right here, I'm Monroe and Rockville.
Barrow.
I got 4 counties right near me. So depending on what side of the street you're on. So you do want to confirm the county is important, okay? Again, that's something else that we talk about. So you want to double check that county. Let's go back to Alexis. Did you have another, Alexis?
Yeah. So first, I want to comment on the course. Thank you all for saying how good it was. I love the feedback.
That's because it's good.
Thank you,
Alexis. Just for the record, you guys, I strongly feel that Alexis doesn't give her what she did to that course. In that course, she don't give herself enough credit, because I looked over the course, when she finished, and like I said, I've said before on other lives, I had to call her because the course is absolutely amazing, and I'm not just saying that.
Thank you.
I put it in the chat too, Notary Educators and the coupon code.
And we also have the live that's on Sunday, December 11th at 7 p.m. If you all want to take it live, with different, interaction, you can ask questions during the live. It's, it's direct feedback. That's the difference. But my next tip is going to be kind of back to what I was saying about the ink color, but make sure you look over the closing instructions. A different scenario is I did not look over the closing instructions and a voided check needed to be included. Actually, I looked them over. I forgot. So it was the same situation. When I got there, I do prepare my package. So when I got there, on my sticky note, it said voided check. But the big thing about that is nowadays people don't have checks. So that should have been something I had a conversation with the borrower beforehand when I first did the first phone call with them. What if I got there and they didn't have something? Now I know, it's other ways we could have got the information. But just going based off what the package said, what if I couldn't get what they wanted? And that's in any situation. You know what I mean? So just make sure you read those closing instructions. That was just a different scenario about the closing.
Yep, it can happen. It's so many little things that you don't think about. And the things that we're talking about will make you stand out as the preferred signing agent. When everybody else is not working, you will work because you're doing the things that we're talking about, the errors that we made. So learn from us. Just one other little side note, we'll come back to Angela for the next era. We should be wrapping up with the era so we can take you guys' questions. But MNC International, we do thank you. Bought the complete bundle package, which has the notary signing agent. Which has the Notarize Like a Pro, how to properly notarize your documents, how to build your business, the I-9, the ink fingerprinting, the new translation course, and I'm missing one. It's 6 courses in the bundle, and they are saying that they are loving it, learning a lot, money well spent. So all of the courses, including the bundles, are 50% off. Coupon code is notary. So I'm like, MNC, I wrote that. And the course is like you and I sitting in a room. There are no modules for Alexis's course either. We don't believe it takes 10 years to test out and you got to get an 85 before you can move on. No, we're going to do real life practical skills. So all the courses are 50% off. Coupon code is notary right now. Okay. Angela, what's our next mistake?
So the next mistake is missing signatures. So I haven't made this mistake. And the reason why I haven't made this mistake is because every single loan signing that I do when I finish, I always tell the customer, let me double check to make sure everything is correct and properly signed. So I have went back through it and realized that a signature, I may have missed a signature on a page, or the one thing that I have been able to correct is that I signed everything on the notary acknowledgement, but I didn't stamp it. And so I've been able to go back through my documents and find where there would have been a mistake, a signature or a notary stamp. So it's very important for me to even triple check. I'm like a triple fourth checker. Even I have them sign it. I check it at the table and take the sticky notes off in front of them, check every line. When I get to UPS, I go into, the guys know me. I go in there, I put the papers on the counter and I check it again.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my OCD when it comes to checking documents.
I always tell people that too. I say I'm OCD about my docs. Now, if you
Yeah.
look in my closet, you'll be like, "Oh, this child is something else." But on my documents, I don't play. And
But guess what? The
mhm.
company has never called me back and said, "Oh, you missed a signature. You made a mistake."
Exactly.
Same thing with initials, guys. I have made that mistake, and you do not want to miss an initial.
No.
Double check. That's why we strongly believe and teach you, and we teach.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare your docs before you go out. Prepare. Don't
Mm-hmm.
just go out and start stamping. And like Angela said, when you miss a stamp, the paper is invalid.
It's wrong.
And
It's
if you
invalid.
send that whole package back to the signing company, you never know if they might be like, you got to go back and stamp that in front of the client. Because technically, if you don't stamp it, you should be stamping in front of your client. Okay, you
Right.
should not be pre-stamping.
Mm-hmm.
I hear all kind of craziness out there. But oh, it's Carmen Marie. Hey girl. Yeah, so we do not want to like I said, be pre-stamping and doing all this kind of little off the wall stuff. You should be
Mm-hmm.
stamping in front of your client. So your signing company might say, hey, you need to go back. Same thing with initials. You can't forge their name. You got to get it.
Right.
So, did we have any more mistakes? That's enough, right? I didn't know it was gonna take us this long.
Did you say address? I think you said address, right?
Oh
the
no,
other
we did
one-
not. Can you hit the last couple of mistakes? Who got it? I know Alexis had one. You got one more?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Alexis.
So the last one for me is going to the wrong address. Make sure you contact your signer first. Ask them, introduce yourself, all that good stuff, and verify the address. Whatever address the signing agency, title company, whatever they have on file, it could be incorrect when it comes time for signing. It could be any. I've had so many different situations as to why it needed to be changed, but it could have been something outdated when the signer could have updated them. I had a situation where the signer did update them, but the documents and information they gave me was just incorrect as far as where to go.
Or they could be on vacation. They could be on vacation, and the signing company didn't know.
Yep.
Now dad is traveling, so it's changed. I've had that happen too several times.
Yep.
Several times. Welcome to everybody that's joining us. We are talking about signing agent errors that we have made. Started out with 5, but we realized we had almost 11. So you guys want to take some notes and check out the again, the courses, self-paced courses are on sale. Read the chat to see the reviews. These are unsolicited reviews. Angela, what was your last one you had?
So the last one was, the signing company requires that your notary stamp is legible and not faded. And so your stamp may not be faded, but depending on how you stamp it on the table or whatever, I have had it where when I stamped it, it was not completely legible in all spots. So in that case, I had to change pages out from another document, but always make sure that your notary stamp is dark and legible, because that's part of the instructions say that your notary stamp, must be dark and it must be legible. They don't like faded out notary stamps on loan documents.
And to Angela's point, again, preparation is key. I preach, have extra supplies in your bag. Matter of fact, I don't even leave my house and my stamp is not ready, okay?
Right.
My stamp is always inked and ready to go. We have a friend of mine that knows I do the notary business, and he always tells Jeff, you got to keep that thing inked, baby. It's a man friend of ours. So he said, you got to keep that thing inked. So yes, make sure your stamp is always ready. If your state allows, and some do, some don't, have an extra stamp in case it breaks. So you're getting all kind of tips here tonight, okay? So we are gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap up that part anyway. So now put your questions in the chat. While we wait on your questions really quick, I'm gonna just show you, for those who are watching, if you don't know about it, the Start Your Notary Business book. And that's for all states, the gray book. And then the orange book is for the state of Georgia, how to start your notary business in the state of Georgia. And then for those of you who want to do general notary work, is the yellow book. We color coded over here. You got the specialty general notary work. Don't be scared. So check out any of those. And last but not least, we have the specialty general notary work journal. And in that journal, you can write your apostilles, your ink fingerprinting, your I-9s, field inspections, and more. Whatever you want to put this non-notarial work, you can put it in here. It's so funny. I got a couple people that's on their second journal just from doing I-9s. So
Yeah,
it's gonna depend on where you live at.
it is.
And last one, I'll give you a bonus is my Start Your YouTube channel. We know 2023 is around the corner. Many people looking for different things to get another stream of income, or just to start it because you want to talk about something. It could be there. It could be therapeutic to get out here and talk about what's going on sometimes. So that's all I got. Let's start with the chat.
Let's see what we got in the chat.
Yes.
So the first, everyone, hello, everyone who's joined, who's recently joined. So MNC Carmen Marie says, can't we give the client their copy at the end? So really that's up to you as the notary. But when I walk in and, get everybody organized and sat down, I usually give them their copy. But I guess you could give it to them whenever you choose to give it to them.
Yeah, and we're going to skip some of the extra hellos, guys, because we want to make sure we get your comments. So please forgive us, but welcome to everybody that joined us. And to Angela's point, you can make a business decision what's best for you. I've done both. Sometimes I'll give it to them because they want to kind of see. They don't want to just start signing, right? Depending on your client. Some clients like, okay, yeah, whatever. And other clients are like, I want to look at everything. So you got to kind of read the room. If you can tell who you're dealing with. So if I think they're going to want to sit there and play with every page while I'm doing my thing, they'll get it at the end. We'll discuss as we go along. But it's best practice probably. Well, I won't say best practice. It's going to depend on the client. It really is.
Just make sure if you do decide to give it, let me just say this. Make sure it's in your site because you don't want to have it in your bag and you're thinking you're going to give it to them at the end and you don't. Forget
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I were you, like if you don't want to give it to them so they don't play around with it, like Kimmi was saying, or go through it, put it to the side, like put it next to you and just say, yeah, I got your copy right here. I'll give it to you, after the signing. And just put it off to the side next to you. I'm pretty sure, depending on, take the loan signing class, but depending on how you initiate and how you walk in confident, they shouldn't really say much back to you. You want to control the situation. So just make sure you put it off to the side. That way it's in your view. So when you get up to go, you don't pack up everything and forget to copy.
And the only thing about that is sometimes the client do want to look at the numbers before they sign the paper. So sometimes they don't take a long time, but they may take a couple of minutes to just look at the first couple of pages to see what they signed and to see what the money thing is. So you have to realize that also.
So let's confirm. Let's be clear so nobody don't put this in my chat. So we are not saying do not show the person the documents. We're not saying that, but we're saying you got to read the room and see what kind of signer you have. But we always show them what they're signing. We talk about what they're signing. We never just sign and go like a Zorro. No.
I was saying their copy of the document.
Right.
If you don't want them to fiddle around with it,
No, not for y'all. I'm just saying for the comments. I'm telling y'all.
Okay.
Later on, people be like, "What? Y'all don't let them see their document? You have them out there signing stuff?"
No, they have to
like Kim saying, as you're giving them the documents, you're explaining this is the disclosure statement. This is this is the Patriot Act. This is you're telling them what it is.
Yes. Right. All right, next.
So Marcel, I like Marcel's comment. So you guys, in case you don't know, Marcel took, our notary training class and has taken some things with us. So she said, I wish I did the loan signing course with Alexis when I first started. I'm sure I would have learned a lot. So she's saying that based on her experience with taking other training classes. Terry says, Alexis, after the meeting with Notary Cousins last week, I made a digital business card and my daughter started on my paper business card. Making progress.
Right. That's what's up.
I'm going to get me a digital business card too. I'm going to put that on my 2023 things. Give me a business card.
So Frank has a suggestion. Get the small square. Okay, Frank, I don't know what you're talking about, but get the small square round seal for when you don't have room for the rectangular seal.
Oh, for the notary stamp. In case, sometimes it's the big one. Because I say the same thing too. I get the rectangular if your state permits because the round one tends to be too big. That's what he's saying. That's a good tip.
Okay. So Terry says, I'm still trying to deal with getting verified by Google. I'm going to work on my LinkedIn profile and I'm putting something on my area next door too. And so what I like about Terry is that even though she's having problem with Google, she's not letting that stop her. She knows she's not verified yet. She's moving on to other things that she can be doing in her business. So that's what we encourage here at Notary Educators. If you're stopped by one thing, don't just let that stop you. Keep going and keep doing other things, while you're working on that. So I like that about you, Terry.
And with that digital business card, let me digress just a little bit. We still order our old-fashioned cards, everybody. Mm-hmm. We are not just doing no popple or whatever. We want to have everything like we talked about last week, digital and paper, because some of your older clients don't want that, okay?
Mm-hmm. So Savila Wilson says, good evening, ladies. How can I notarize a POA for a husband and wife in 2 separate locations? So what I would do with that case, and you guys can chime in on it, if you're saying that they're in 2 separate locations that's in the same state or different state, what I would do if I had to do that is I would actually notarize for the one person, cross out the other person's name, have them cross it out, and then notarize a whole separate one of the same document. That's what I would do, because I wouldn't want anybody to write anything else, in that spot. And that's what they would do a lot of times in the law firm. If 2 separate people had to notarize the same document, they would have them notarize 2 separate documents and just cross a line through the person's name. So I don't know. How would you guys handle that?
Split signing.
Yeah.
I had this before, but given the situation, I didn't cross the person's name out. So what I did is I just put my stamp on a separate sheet of paper, a loose certificate, and on the loose certificate it states who you're notarizing for. So I just put that person's name, because the lady was already all over the place. And if I did that, she would have, people take it to 1,000. Mm-hmm. So I didn't cross out the name, but I did do a loose certificate. I didn't stamp on her document. Mm-hmm. Put one behind it.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, you want to make sure it's clear who you're notarizing for.
That's the point.
Because you wouldn't want Alexis and Angela standing before me. I mean, only Angela standing here, but the way I stamp it gives the impression that Alexis was there also.
Right.
So you got to be very cautious of that, okay?
And you don't want to leave a situation too. And let me backtrack on something. I don't cross out nothing on nobody's document. I have them cross it out and initial it. And you don't want it to be where if you're notarizing a page and that other person can come and just fill their name in, like they stood before you and you notarize their signature also. And that's why Kim said, when she notarized something, she makes sure it looks like she notarized for that person only.
Right.
You can write that on there. If you feel in any situation, always cover yourself. But I would write that on there. If the person's name
for Jane Doe only,
you know what I mean? You can't. There's no way you can really cross that out, do anything to that or anything like that, and then make a note of it in your notary journal.
Can you guys please like for me, thumbs up or whatever?
Yeah, like,
thumbs up, like. Thank you. Yeah, if you're not subscribed to, come on, what you waiting
like, subscribe, and share.
For people who might have watched it after.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if you watch it later on, hit the like button for me.
Yeah. So that's a comment.
You have any Facebook comments? I think I skipped a couple.
Let me see. Last time I checked, we did it.
So Joanne says, "Thank you, lady." I'm sorry. You got some Facebook comments?
Oh no. I was just gonna say a bunch of hellos, Pamela. Cherie,
so Joanne says, "Thank you, ladies, for your wonderful support. Waiting on my business cards to arrive. SLA class soon." You're welcome, Joanne.
You're welcome.
So Savila says, "What type of loose certificate can I attach?" And so go ahead, Alexis.
I was gonna say, have you taken a class with us, like any type of notary training class? If not, it would be a good time for you to get that notarized like a pro course, because a lot of these questions are kind of basic in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like we're trying to piecemeal. We can tell when you took training or not. So let us know if you need training. We don't mind trying to answer a question, but you can't learn it in 2 minutes.
But I want to see proper training.
Yeah, we want you to do it like a pro.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people, I'm sorry, Angela.
No, go ahead, Kim.
I was just gonna say a lot of times people, when they start saying, "Can I just throw a loose certificate here? I want to add a jurat, I want to add an acknowledgement. What do I do? What do I add?" 90% of the time we ain't add nothing.
Right.
We need to look at the document and know what we're doing while we're out there. But when people start asking me, "What can I add? Can I put this or should I put that?"
Right.
That lets me know we need some training.
So Savila says, "What type of loose certificate can I attach?" So each state has loose certificates, should have loose certificates, or probably has loose certificates on their website.
Each state does.
So Frank said, "Gotta
Right,
leave. Thank you
Frank.
for tonight. A review on the replay." All right, Frank. Thank
Yeah,
you
Thanks,
for your
Frank.
support. So
Thank you.
that's actually the last comment. Lona gave us a
On
thumb.
Facebook.
Lona
nope.
gave us a thumbs up.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's it. We all caught up tonight.
We all caught up tonight, girl.
All right. Well, no more questions. We'll get out of here then. Oh,
Viva
civility.
says
Yes,
she
we got the
she
class.
ordered the self-paced class for Kim and Alexis.
Very good.
Yeah,
Oh,
Very
yeah,
nice. So you're gonna be ready once you
yeah.
get
Let
done.
us know what you think about it when you finish,
Yeah,
Sevilla.
and then we got a Facebook user. Hold on, let me see.
And you have the email address in the course if you have any additional questions. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure you are ready to rock and roll.
Yes, and you will be. You will be after that notarized like a pro. You'll be ready to go. And Pamela Barham over on Facebook says, "Kimmi, I watched your general notary videos on Thanksgiving while cooking because I had the will to notarize."
Oh, nice. Check out Notarize Like a Pro so you can know how to do it. And I think we missed Marie Carmen when she said, Carmen Marie when she said about the class.
No, we read that.
Oh, like it's like sitting in the living room. Feel like me and Miss Kimmi just sitting there chilling. Did we read that?
No, we didn't read that one.
We didn't read that one.
No. So Carmen Marie said that she took the class and the self-paced. And she said, yes, it does feel like Miss Kimmi and I are just sitting in the living room chatting, LOL. So yeah, that's how we designed the class. It's a couple little just a little review questions, not test, but just to test your knowledge, just a couple little, hey, so what do you think about this? So it's very, very lively. You get what you get here, but it's just like you and I in a room. So, and again, if you have additional questions once you purchase the course, the email address is there. You can just make a little list and shoot it to us. But I honestly do not get a lot of emails. I'm gonna tell you the truth because I'm very thorough. Just like we teach here, you can only imagine what's in the course.
Right.
Yeah. So we're very thorough. We gotta go ahead and wrap it up then.
Let's get this one from A Harp says, can I find sample forms for my state? So you guys, on your state's website, if you're, I was about to say journal, if your handbook is on the website, usually, or if you can go to your state's website, they usually have sample forms, and even in your notary handbook, they have sample forms in your notary handbook that you can look at. So your state does have sample forms either on their website or on their journal, a notary handbook that's on the website. Even your regular handbook that you are hardbound, what do you call it? Soft cover notary handbook. They have sample forms. So you can get them from any of those places, website, handbook, or online handbook for your state.
And if you're looking like for a little bit more with a little training attached to it, you can check out either my specialty general notary book, how to like POAs. We talk about that. We talk about what the Affian is and common terminology to help you feel more comfortable navigating hospitals, jails, and field inspection. I go over a little bit of everything in a specialty general notary book as well as the course. So the book, of course, you read it. The course is like, again, you and I sitting in a room discussing everything. So, and none of them are long either. Go ahead, Angela.
We do have a notary class this Friday. That's still open, have some spots. And also, when is your class, Alexis?
It is Sunday the 11th at 7.
And Alexis has the class Sunday the 11th at 7. And we also have an apostille class for December. I think it's on the 19th. So we still have space in all those classes. So go to notaryeducatorsllc.com and sign up.
And we got 3 more comments here. So let's see. Carmen Marie says, I changed my address on Google, but I have not received a postcard yet, and it's been 2 weeks. But this is not going to stop. I'm setting up a Yelp Nextdoor account. Hold up on the Yelp account.
And be careful with Yelp.
Yeah, be careful with Yelp. Not anti-Yelp over here, but yeah, wait on Google.
I'm gonna be honest with Yelp. Yelp is for a certain type of business. And what we do, Yelp, the amount of money you're gonna put out, it's not worth it in my opinion.
And Yelp will harass you to pay for ads. Yelp will harass you to pay $500. I have not gotten like one call from Yelp. I mean, any people from Yelp asking for a notary.
And Yelp call me all day trying to get me to sign up for their ads. So
they do.
Oh, I don't know. Wait on that. Just
Yeah.
next door, yeah. But
Yeah.
get your cards and just get out in the neighborhood too. Just get out.
Yeah,
Old
next door is really good.
And then Renee says she passed her background check. We got something on Facebook too.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, Renee. I was just coming back to that. And she signed up for the NSA training. And
Marcel
annoyed the heck out of me. That's what Marcel said.
They did me too. They got mad with me.
Yeah, but I found out they get a commission. It's a real like.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can tell they do.
The way they call you, I didn't.
Well, I should know. They called me. They harassed me so bad.
Yeah. What was it on Facebook, Alexis?
Pamela Bargman says she purchased that. I think speaking about your book.
Okay. So we are going to wrap it up. We do appreciate that, Pamela, and all of you guys for your support as we continue to help you grow in your notary business. I am going to say good night. I am Kimmi, Notary Life with Kimmi, and also Notary Educators. And I'll let Alexis and Angela say good night.
Hey, everybody, it's Alexis from Mobile Notary Services by Alexis. I hope you all enjoyed tonight, and we will see you all soon.
And this is Angela with AJ Mobile Notary and Apostille Service, part of Notary Educators. So thank you guys so much for joining us, and we hope we answered all of your questions, and we'll see you later.
All right, guys. Have a great night.